So this is a thing that's kind of come up recently. Is Canadians that leave Canada are seen as like traitors. There's I don't know if you've been catching up on all the Team Canada crap. Like it's gone so far that like we're not in British Columbia. We're not allowed to buy alcohol that's made in a red state, according to the government. 'Cause people don't even realize like Canada's got this communist sort of like alcohol regulatory body where they're like in Ontario, the only people who can sell beer is the beer store.
Yeah.
It's like literally the government
or the
beers.
LCBO.
Yeah.
And apparently those are owned partially by like foreign countries.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be government like you're supposed to think like, "Oh, the government's making money off selling booze," but really it's apparently China has a stake in LCBO.
Shut up. Really?
I mean, somebody Google it, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, but then it's created all this stuff, and it's all like Trump derangement syndrome. That's like the biggest export from the U.S. right now because nothing else is allowed in Canada. But yeah, so Trump's made all these like threats of tariffs, and it doesn't matter what you think about it. It is what it is, right? And we're just kind of caught in the crossfire. A lot of people who are, for traditional reasons, because you're coming to America just largely for your success, keep your career going. But then it turns into this thing like, oh, well, you're going to America. You're a traitor. You're a traitor to the flag. But, you got
Americans are like, you're a fucking Canuck.
Yeah, right.
And they're looking at you like, not really. They're mostly very accepting, I find, in America. And when the thing with Trump, like the initial tariff and 51st state and Governor Trudeau, and I would go to the airport and show my Canadian passport, like every TSA agent was like, "Oh, Canada, sorry about everything's going on." Like, like people, like even they're just nice about it. Yeah. Canadians are the ones that if you go through TSA in Canada and you got an American passport, okay, maybe we'll search you a little harder, maybe because there's all this propaganda, and I just tweeted about it. There's like 2 instances of Canadians being detained or people crossing the border being detained. I don't know if you heard about this. But
no, fill me in.
So, well, there was one woman that was detained she's Canadian, but she was going from Mexico to San Diego, like from Tijuana to San Diego or whatever.
Okay.
But the story is ridiculous. First of all, she was working for a weed company, which you're not allowed to do if you're Canadian and even if you work for a weed company in Canada, you're not supposed to be allowed to come into the States, technically, even though it's legal. Yeah, because of the federal law. But she was working for a weed company in the States. She had her visa expired, and instead of going back to Canada, she goes to Mexico and then decides, which is fine, but then she thinks, oh, I'm going to cross the border back in. And she shows up with no visa and goes, I want to apply for a visa here today, get it, and then cross. And they're like, what? Like, that's not even a thing. And it's just there's this whole, you can read about it. I've read about it. And she was detained for 2 weeks and she was in an ICE facility. And it was this, it's a horror story. And so now all the CTV and CBC are spreading this propaganda that, it's really likely that you'll be detained and you'll have all your technology searched at the border. It's like,
is that what that's all about? I saw an article talking about that. I was going to dig to the bottom of that this week.
But that's all it is. It was one
someone
instance.
who committed, like, actually didn't follow the rules and she got in trouble for it.
And was probably an idiot about it. And then there's another guy, I didn't read about the other guy, but he was like a Romanian citizen that, accidentally crossed the border. He was driving close and didn't know, and with a rental, and got detained. It's like, yeah, that stuff was happening under Biden too.
Dude, I had fans that were like,
about it.
Clyde, be careful crossing into the United States. I'm a dual citizen, so I had no problem. Like, it was no issue there.
No.
But they're so friendly. Like, everywhere.
I think, no, it's total. So Canada has the propaganda with the crossing the border. They have the propaganda of boycotting the products. They have the propaganda of, all this anti-American propaganda. And then Americans are just like, to Canadians, they're nice. So it's really crazy, man. And people in Canada being like, you're a traitor for moving there. Yeah, you're a low IQ idiot. Like, you have no future. You have no good business going on. You didn't create anything for yourself. So now you're sitting in Canada going, oh, anybody who wants to move to America is a traitor. We're the same continent. I mean, we've always had Canadians with dual citizens. Like, I'm pretty sure the most dual citizens that exist are duel with Canada because of it's that close. And
just the border,
and we're allies. So, and people want, well, Trump's the one ruining that. Not really. Trudeau is the one who ruined that by taking away people's rights specifically during the lockdowns. And Trump said, like, I don't want to do business with people who don't prioritize freedom of speech. And he's, I'd rather do business with Argentina. They're a big country. They have hundreds of million, they have 100 million or
well, he's turned around too, and he's putting these tariffs on everybody. It's not like Canada is singled out as like one individual nation that's getting it. Like, and not to mention Canada's had tons of tariffs for a long time on the United States because they want to protect things like the dairy industry.
Yeah,
and all
that's one of the propagandas from the States is being like, well, you guys had tariffs. It's like, yeah, but we had to because otherwise we just wouldn't have any industry. But then it's like, well, that's what Trump's fighting against. He's like, why, if we're going to subsidize you or let you have your little industries that you wouldn't have if you didn't have these tariffs, then at the very least, like, make sure there's no like terrorists crossing the border or like illegal, like cut down on the illegal immigration, and Canada's like, okay, I guess we could do that. And it's like, we're scared about our sovereignty. It's like, yeah, you should be. You've been eroding it for the past 10 years. You've been talking about how, like, downtown Toronto, statue of Sir John A. Macdonald at Queen's Park is covered up in a box. His head is in a bag. Okay,
that's the one they tore down, right?
They didn't tear it down. It's still up. Maybe they have by now, but
there was one that they tore. I thought maybe
they tore down the Ryerson University, the Lord Ryerson or whatever, the guy that, he was racist in 1867. Oh, good.
Yeah,
who isn't?
Yeah,
who is? I mean, I am now more because he tore that statue down because it's ridiculous. But yeah, these people want to act, and by these people, I mean the liberals and the people in power want to act like Doug Ford wants to act like he's a conservative. Then why doesn't he go down to that statue and make sure that Sir John A.'s head, and George Washington was racist. He had slaves. So should he be erased from history?
Don't give him any ideas, man.
Well, they already want to, and they tried to do that with a lot of the Confederate statues. Trump was the one who, I think, either put some of them back or said, well, at the very least, they shouldn't be destroyed. They should be put in a museum.
Yeah, well, wasn't it like General Lee? He was largely respected, even though he was on the other side, but he was still an American.
I mean, it's history. Like, yeah, people were racist. Like, so it's just this erosion of our history in Canada, and the erosion of, we don't have a culture. Remember during COVID, Trudeau was basically leading the charge for, we need to cancel Canada Day. That was a big thing. So Canada Day for the American followers is like the 4th of July. And they wanted to cancel it because, not everybody feels comfortable with blah, blah, blah. And also, the fireworks, that could trigger some people who just got here from Syria that they would, the Jews are coming or whatever. Who cares? Sorry, if you can't live here and celebrate with us and deal with the fireworks, then
adios.
I mean, either adios or just screw you in general. Like,
right.
I'm not big on the go, get these people out. I am. But it's like, you don't like it here. You don't like our celebrations. Why are you here? And the reason is because we're going to give you money to be here.
Yeah, it's economic.
We're basically giving you money to be a liberal voter. So, and it's the same with the American mass immigration. They're giving people money to live here and within the UK and in Europe to vote for the most liberal party possible. And look what's happening in France. Marine Le Pen is apparently supposed to go to jail for 4 years, and she was the front runner of their election. And so that's not politically motivated.
Well, they're pulling a Trump on her, right? So
worse.
Well, they tried to put Trump in jail.
Yeah.
They worked at that for 8 years to put Trump in jail. It didn't work. It damn near came close to working.
Yeah.
But then here they are in France. They're finishing the job.
Just straight up doing it. And so this whole, anytime you hear like if Pierre Poilievre in Canada, the election's coming up, Pierre Poilievre, if he wins, that's the end of democracy. So the end of democracy only happens if the other party wins. But if one party stays in power forever, that's democracy. That's a lie. They're creating They want authoritarianism, and Canadian authoritarianism. It'll be nice, right? But with Mark Carney, he'll be a great dictator because it's obvious what's happening. The people who are against it are, unfortunately, I think, dementia patients at this point. The boomers who are graffitiing swastikas on Teslas and protesting at Tesla things and going, Pierre, he's gonna play right into Trump's hands, and he's not. He's been around and a figurehead in Canada for longer than Carney.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who Carney is. He just appeared out of nowhere. Well, and apparently he was the finance minister or something like that.
Yeah, he was the governor of the Bank of Canada, like when just before
destroying the dollar.
Well, totally. And actually what he did was lower the interest rates a ton, causing the housing bubble. So the whole housing bubble is because of that guy, and they want to put him in charge now.